Okay.
Hello.
Welcome to the potty. This will be a very chaotic episode. One, because it's raining right now, and so the Wi-Fi connection is horrible. Like my Google Meet has said, you've lost your network connection. Trying to reconnect for the past 5 minutes, and I've fully been on the call. We're doing this over lunch as well. Elizabeth is going to the train station. We are on episode 18 or 19, I think. We might have misnumbered last episode, so whatever it is, it'll be either 18 or 19. But yeah, let's get straight into it.
Totally glad to be here today. Do we have a question we want to begin with?
Let's just do like a status update on how we're doing. We're busy girls. Each of us are working like 3 full-time jobs. Oh my god, I have the craziest story for you as well. Like craziest story.
What's up?
So basically, my Stanford fellowship, one of the stipulations is like I cannot be like overemployed, right?
Okay.
So, but then I like wrote about it on my Substack or like my LinkedIn, and so the program coordinator found out, and she emailed me. She was like, "Carolyn, do you want to explain what's going on here?" She's like, "Why do you have this like company also on your LinkedIn?" And I had to mega backtrack, and now I have just like had to do like a lot of LinkedIn. So none of my summer roles are being featured on my LinkedIn, but I almost like was in trouble with this. So that was like crazy. Jen Su emailed me. She was like, "I can read you the email chain as well," but it was basically just like, where is it? Clarification needed on summer internship commitments. And she goes, the original email is, "Hi Carolyn, I hope this message finds you well. As we prepare for upcoming summer, I wanted to reach out to discuss your internship commitments. It's essential to prioritize and let you manage your time effectively. I've heard that you may be involved in multiple internship opportunities this summer, and I'd like to understand your current situation better. Our program has specific policies regarding holding more than one full-time position, and it's important for us to make sure everyone is aligned with these guidelines. Can you take a moment to please clarify your plans for the summer? Thank you for attention to this matter, and I look forward to hearing from you soon." How cooked is that?
It's Loki cooked, but have you already discussed with her?
I like Loki just like I like fumbled my way through it, but I'm safe for now. But I just cannot be posting on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And now my manager at my other job is also like on the hush hush with me. So I think you think we're chilling because they're super chill, but like still it's kind of like what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's the pipeline. I'm actually I'm fucking eating food out of a package right now. Like my life is kind of what was that noise? Holy shit.
I'm going towards the train, which might be a bad
Mm.
sign.
Anyways, this is a good about time to ask you about your summer. We've both picked up like 3 jobs on the side.
Yeah, so I'm pretty chill because it feels like all the jobs can be fake. Um, because my my economics research really hasn't begun yet,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a crazy process. I've been in talks with this startup based in Germany for about maybe like 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, let's schedule a call this weekend to see if there's a fit. And then legitimately 10 hours later, they called me and said, we want you. So, like,
Beautiful.
it took them a while to probably like read the app or like check in background wise. But like the minute they
Mm-hmm.
chatted with me, it felt like it was a sure deal. So
Beautiful.
it was great to hear. I feel like there's good alignment, and they are based in Germany, and so initially it was like an opportunity for me to
Mm-hmm.
go there for a month, which I
Mm-hmm.
was really excited about because like, my family in Belgium is like it's like technically quite close once you've already made the like $1,000 trip to the
Oh, fun.
European continent.
That'd be nice.
But they kind of like backtracked on this because
Oh.
turns out they have two members of their really small team coming to the Bay Area. And
Oh.
so there isn't much need for me to kind of jump over to meet my members in person since they'll come visit me. And
Mm-hmm.
so I guess it's better for me, like expense wise, but I'm like upset travel wise. Um, and then finally, this is the one that's most unlike a full time job. Like I think that the, the commitment is more so maybe like five hours, maybe 10, and it's primarily just like social media content creation and management of other creators
Mm-hmm.
for this like startup in the area. And
Oh, he's on that startup grind. Oh.
Yeah, I am, even though I don't really think I want to work in it. But
Hmm. Tell me about the work you'll be doing for this VC. Is it very like intensive? Like, are you meeting up with them in SF right now? Situation.
so I'm helping out at the moment with community and engagement.
Hmm.
So they're a really interesting startup where they host global AI hackathons with like everything being in real time and from if we globally additionally have like in major metropolitan hubs, like 13 major cities in Europe alongside, I want to say just the key cities of SF in New York and the US, and host like an in-person component.
Hmm.
And pulling in the winners, they use it as essentially just like a massive interview, if you will, and the winners of the hackathon would get fast tracked through their VC cohort. And
Interesting.
so they currently are partnered with like a couple of European VC funds to like fast track them through that process, and then they brought in investors to inject
Hmm.
some capital. But from what I understand, it's currently not under their name, and so they're
Hmm.
in final kind of create their
I
own
think we
version.
just lost you. We just lost you. The audio is like very crunchy, but like the later like 45% of what you said was unfortunately lost to the wind. It's very, very fuzzy right now. This audio, like this episode might be a little bit cooked. So let's use this as like a catch-up period between the two of us. And then we can get back to the deeper philosophical questions next week. But the other question is like how, I think on a broader level, how are we balancing all of our commitments? Because this is obviously one of our pre-existing commitments, and it's just a nice space for us to convene and to be able to like take a break from whatever is going on in our lives right now. But I think we both have a tendency to say yes to things, and there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, a lot of interesting things will come as a result of that. But the other question is like, how can we say yes to things and still do everything well? So there is a distinction between saying yes to things and also being very intentional about our yeses. And let me also close this conference door. Why is this thing on? It's fine. Okay, whatever. But have you been really like feeling the heat of like juggling your multiple commitments yet? And with your economics research, are there any stipulations that say that you cannot be holding multiple roles at the same time? Because if so, I will want to tell you to look out for Gen 2's email because she will be on that shit.
I don't believe I have stipulations against my work because it's flexible, and when we set out my hours, since it was to include like my time commitment in either summer or during the academic year, they decided
Mm-hmm.
not to make a distinction.
I
I
do.
have I'm like eligible to either kind of like put in a pay request or put into the access time slot system
Mm-hmm.
anywhere in the range between 10 hours to 40 hours a week. And
You
so
can just
if I
fake your
were
own
to
hours.
be,
That's kind of
yeah, although I really don't want to because I like know the professor too much now. Um,
mm,
but currently, I think it's been easier for me to balance because I'm only in my first week at the startup. And
mm-hmm.
for econ research, it's been very slow because my professor's currently in China teaching a class of some sort,
Oh,
and so
okay, cool.
we've been on like a light status because he hasn't been able to check in, and I can chat with the post like his grad students, but that isn't that isn't like the
Beautiful.
solution for our next steps.
Cool. Tell me more about this economics research actually. Like is it international? I know that you are very interested in kind of like foreign policy or from like the perspective of being a Belgian citizen and having those ties and now also to Germany. Also, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go grab my sandwich from the fridge really, really quickly so I can munch on my lunch. But I'll be
No
right back.
worries.
And you can tell our lovely viewers a little bit about maybe how you came across this professor, and then when I get back, we can chit chat more about like what the day to day looks like for you, and like yeah, what the research covers. This feels so interview-esque, but really, we need to find a way to occupy our audience of two, you and me. So I'll be
Totally.
right back. I'll be 30 seconds.
And I don't actually mind this program because I'm currently heading into somewhere where I need to share what I'm currently doing this summer, and I have not established like a clear through line, so it's gonna be helpful. But I initially phoned the professor last year, despite not actually having school yet, I'm from the Bay Area and I'm like really um, kind of well involved in the I'd say Asian American scene, and the person in question has sort of a lot of involvement with Asian American issues in general, and U.S.-China relations. And so U.S.-China relations have been a big interest of mine throughout high school. I learned really Mandarin because of it. When I was here, like the COVID, what is it, politics really like launched me into it. I feel like there was like a new headline every single day. And the topics that I'm currently working on are this very general project to analyze all international tertiary education systems and establish a typology or just like a categorization system to understand what factors, what's the makeup of a tertiary system that is most effective. And we define effective as like uh, most productive in social mobility. Um, the level of access or kind of like the lowest rungs of society, I think is incredibly important to my professor, and we've been looking at how not just funding, but sort of just the history and functions of, um, I would say, power and influence have shaped the systems itself. I think it's very easy to say colonization for a lot of countries that we've reviewed, but there's also like deeper themes. And so day to day, I've been currently just looking at a bunch of indicators and trying to honestly graph them out and see if we're kind of seeing some correlation with
Mhm.
social mobility. And then also, plenty of the indicators that my professor specifically wants aren't currently standardized or like aggregated. And so I'm discussing with him as to whether I should be doing such work because to focus like days worth of effort on one indicator, not certain is most effective or even time efficient if we want to finish the project by the end of the summer. And so there's just a bit of like organizational questions that are currently on my mind.
That's so cool. That was amazing, Elizabeth. Also, so random, but when I was like going to pick up my sandwich from the fridge, bro, I saw that fridge was stocked full of beers. I was like, I don't know who's getting lit at the office on like a Tuesday afternoon, but like good for you, I guess. I was like, truly, it was just my sandwich. It was a cup of chocolate pudding and it was like 4 cans of beer. So
They're putting in their fridge, shelf, take it out after.
This is a red line Richmond.
I was also thinking, I don't know how productive this conversation is going to be. Anything you want to address in particular, we can just kind of like call it here and say that we served our time. Like we did our duty. Like we had like an intermediary filler episode. And then I'll send the Google Drive link over to you and we can go from there.
Okay, that sounds great. I'm glad that we met, staying true to our commitment.
Mhm.
And next week we'll be extra locked in. Next week my Tuesday will be clear. I will be making sure this is a priority for sure. But I'm also going in
11:30.
careless. Yeah.
Also, why could I not text you this morning? Like none of my texts are going through.
None of my texts were going through. Wait, I don't know whose side it was. But I was like trying to send it as a text, as an SMS.
I tried
It was not
WhatsApp. I
working.
tried WhatsApp, girl. I messaged you on WhatsApp. Like it was serious. It was serious, truly.
I emailed you. We were both getting that same level of commitment
Yeah. Okay, but we will convene next week.
here.
It'll happen.
I oddly didn't even receive the WhatsApp message. Oh, yes, I did. I did.
Okay,
Okay.
that's so funny. Okay, well we will convene. Yeah, I'll stop the recording here.
Okay. Goodbye.